Hi, Darla here. It's so nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in today. It's been a while. So today I wanted to share with you a recipe from my cookbook. This is my moist chocolate bundt cake, and what's so beautiful about this bundt cake, besides its flavor, obviously, is that it can be made in one bowl, and who doesn't love that? Less washing and less mess. So all I've done ahead of time is get everything ready, but I've heated up the milk just slightly. When we mix it all together in one bowl, except for the milk until the end, then we're going to spray our bundt pan and put it in our bundt pan. But I wanted to show you different bundt pans. Now, this is my bundt pan, and this is a standard bundt pan. And you can see the difference. I think a standard bundt pan takes about 10 cups of batter, whereas the larger cast iron one like this takes 12 or 14 cups. So this recipe is made for this bundt pan. We'll spray it and put the batter in there. If you make it in a standard pan, then don't use all the batter. You probably only want to have it about 2/3 to 3/4 full, or it will overflow. So we're just going to start with a devil's food cake mix, and we're just going to put everything in the bowl all at once except for the milk. The recipe calls for a 5.9 ounce package of regular chocolate pudding mix, not the instant, but the regular cook. And when my husband went grocery shopping for me, which he frequently does, and I thank him for that, the grocery store did not have the bigger packages. So the two small packages together are actually more than you need. So it's going to be a 1/2 cup of applesauce and a half a cup of canola oil. Just your standard vegetable oil will do. Okay, and then it takes a cup of sour cream. These are all the things that make the cake moist, right? That keep it moist are all these wonderful creamy ingredients. Okay, and then it's going to take 4 eggs. I wonder if you've been baking a lot, like a lot of people as they've been home. They've been baking and experimenting, and of course it's that time of the year because we always want to make luscious things for Thanksgiving and Christmas as well, right? Okay, so now you can see everything is in the bowl except for the milk. And I'm just going to mix that together, basically breaking up the eggs and mixing the sour cream and the applesauce and all the deliciousness. Of course, like anything, you don't want to mix too much. I'm just basically going to get everything wet. So you can see everything is kind of wet. It even has some drizzles of the white in there. And then I'm going to slowly add the milk a little at a time. And that just keeps the eggs, it's called tempering. It just keeps the eggs from scrambling because perhaps your milk might be too hot. So that's it in a nutshell. I would just do that in 3 additions. I hear the ding from my oven, so my oven is ready to go. And I'll see you back here after I put the cake in the oven and we see how it looks. So hang in there with me. The last thing we'll do is add the entire bag of chocolate chips. This is a 12-ounce bag of chocolate chips because we want as much chocolate flavor as possible. Okay, so my batter's all ready, and I'm going to go ahead and just put that right in the bundt pan. can see how full it is. And we'll go ahead now and put that right in the oven. Okay, now you're gonna cook that for 50 minutes and then you can join me back here. In the meantime, you're going to want to take out of your refrigerator a 8-ounce package of cream cheese, because that will be part of the icing that we'll put on the cake when it cools. So see you back here after we take it out of the oven. Okay, our cake is cooled, so we're ready to put it on a nice cake stand. And usually what I do is just invert, and hopefully if we've sprayed it adequately, it'll come out quite easily, and then we can just adjust it where we want on the cake pan. Oh, and there we are. Beautiful. Okay, our next step will be decorating, so we'll make our icing and go from there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make the icing for the bundt cake. So inside my stand mixer, I have 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, 4 tablespoons of softened butter. And I'm just going to blend that to mix together. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm going to slowly add 2 cups of powdered sugar. It's really fun because my friend Anne, she brought me back from Mexico some wonderful Mexican vanilla that I use in all my baking. Now I want you to know that you don't have to have any fancy gadgets or anything like this. I just put the icing into a Ziploc bag and we'll cut a hole in the corner of that bag and we'll decorate our cake. You'll see how I do that in just a few minutes. I want to scrape this down and run it one more time just to make sure it's nice and smooth and comes together. It's a beautiful, tasty, the cream cheese kind of gives it that tang, you know, that's very special when you have icings and such. See how that looks? It's beautiful. And I'm just going to take it and I'm going to put it in just a large plastic bag. If you have a pastry bag, that's fine as well. It'll all work just fine, trust me. It's not going to be a fancy decorating project, but we'll get all this lovely goodness on our bundt cake that just enhances that beautiful chocolate. You know, chocolate from our angel food cake, chocolate from our chocolate pudding, chocolate from our chocolate chips. It's all beautiful. Here's our cake. And you don't really even have to close the Ziploc bag, but you do have to force the icing to a corner because you're going to cut, you know, a hole in the corner so you can pipe all that goodness. So you just shake it around, get it pushed down to where you want it. You can make that as large or small as you want. I like kind of a large cut. Okay, and then we're just going to take and just kind of drape it over like that. You'll have to continue to push down on the bag to do that, and you'll learn as you do it more often like what spacing you need to put it up, you know, the distance of the spacing. And then whatever icing I have left over, I just pipe it right down the middle. And then those people in your party, in your family, in your company that like more icing, then they can just get that from the middle. And those that don't care that much, you know, they've got what comes on their slice of cake. And you can see this is very easy to do. I have in a little bowl some extra chocolate chips. Most of the time I use, of course it's delicious. Most of the time I use mini chocolate chips to decorate, but I didn't happen to have any in my pantry. So today I'm utilizing just regular chocolate chips. Now, you can see what I would do is just put the rest of the icing down into the center of the cake. Just take your chocolate chips and just decorate them around on the top of the cake and in the center if you like. And there's our beautiful bundt cake. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and you'll be able to see the whole recipe, which I will copy at the link below. And if you're interested in my cookbook, you can also find the link for that on Amazon. It was so good to see you today and hope to share another recipe with you soon. Bye-bye. All right, hopefully you can see the recipe very well from my cookbook. And